Today's lesson, make sure you're tuned in. Welcome to the new vlogs, the Ask Project, the vlog version. No thrills or business, roll the intro.
Give me the business, give me the business.
I always think about Gary Vee and I always ask myself the question, how can I provide more value? I get a lot of people asking me, can I come hang out with you for the day, or can I come down and fly to Sydney and be in the office for a week? I say no to those people, not to be rude or anything, but I kind of just love to get into a workflow, and hopefully this vlog can sort of cover that basis as well, so everyone could sort of feel like what it's like to be in this office. I've found whenever people come into this office and when they leave they feel inspired, I can see their eyes sort of light up, and I just sort of tell them stuff that we're up to and that gives them ideas for their business, and they go out and try and execute those on there. So that's essentially what this vlog's gonna be. Got a few exciting things happening this year, potentially starting a business with Danny, who's my accountant, who I've got a lot of respect for, a digital agency. We've both been able to build pretty successful businesses, and I was having a consulting meeting and he was in it as well, and that was sort of the light bulb moment of like, we could potentially help a lot of businesses out. We had that meeting for that yesterday, sort of planned it out, shareholders agreement, all that sort of stuff. It's sort of up to me whether I want to pursue it, what my role is within the company as well, so that's kind of exciting. Plenty of other things happening as well. YKTR Sports, we're going to start approaching sponsors pretty soon. The podcast, like how I've been able to secure sponsors for my podcast, and like how the payment structure works and how I invoice them and sort of stuff like that. Got a speaking gig up in the Gold Coast on May the 3rd. That's sort of been interesting as well. It's going to be my first ever speaking gig. Consulting, I do consulting on the side, doing like one or two, maybe a fortnight or one or two a week. Kind of want to increase that as well, but hopefully all this sort of stuff helps. Potentially investing in a vintage tea company. Jackson, if you guys know him, maybe doing that in about 6 months. So there's a lot of things that are happening, but I just kind of want to give people an insight and behind the scenes of where it's all going to go. Today we're launching some new products tonight, so that's super exciting, but I'm going out for a meeting now at 9:30 with our 3PL company. 3PL is, they ship out all our stuff. So we've been with them for 2 years. To be honest, they've been really, really great. We're at that point now where we need to take a step back, or I need to have a helicopter view of where our business is right now. So you got to look at all your parts of your business, and you got to think how you can save money. Businesses should be operating off profit margins. There's two ways you can increase your profit margin. One, increase price. That means the customer gets charged more. Or two, decrease costs. So we've been with this 3PL company for about 2 years now. Me now with the lead of their company there as well, and the boss as well. So it should be an interesting conversation. So let's go. Yo, just got to the e-commerce place now. Got a meeting for the next 30-40 minutes. So hopefully come up with a good result. Hey, so it's about 3 o'clock now. We're about to launch at 6. Got all my stuff ready to roll. Thought I'd just sort of do a wrap up on this meeting today. So walked into the place that does our 3PL. It was really great. There was kind of a bit of tension between the two parties, and that's probably my fault because I haven't been out there in probably about 2 years since we started with them. Yeah, it has been about 2 years actually. So there's always sort of this like back and forth over a phone. So I thought we'd go out and have a meeting with them, which actually turned out to be pretty great for us, and a great lesson. And probably the first lesson is always keep in touch with the people that you work with. But what was happening with YKTR, we're leaking too much money out the bottom when we're shipping out stuff. So you shouldn't be losing money when you're shipping. So if you think of, here's orders coming in, here's our shipping department. I've just done it as a tap with water and cup. We're losing too much money out the bottom. So I wanted to know why, and that's what the reason for the meeting was. So economies of scale. Economies of scale is basically the more that you make, the cheaper it should cost. So economies of scale is if this product and we make 100 of them, and here's the price is X. If we make 1,000, it should be cheap. Like the price should be cheaper. So that's what economies of scale means. The more that you produce, the cheaper the cost should be. So since we've started there, not only do we meet the weekly minimum, but we surpass that by a lot. So in theory, they should be offering us a cheaper price, which we were able to negotiate. But what the strength of this meeting was the data that they were able to show us, and it was really, really interesting, and they sort of showed us as a business of how we can improve. And the main one was average order value. AOV. How do you get average order value is important to any business, and how you get the good average order value is through upsells. Every business in the world tries to upsell. When you go to Macca's and you try and buy a burger, what do they say? Would you like fries with that? When you get petrol, there's always those chocolates. Do you want some of these chocolates with this? Because what it does, it increases your average order value. Through a combination of getting a better rate through economies of scales, we were able to get sort of 5-10% off depending on international or local orders, and increasing average order value. That stops the leak at the bottom of the cup. It stops all the money from falling out the bottom and you start losing and cutting into your profit margin. So being able to negotiate economies of scale and trying to do better things through upselling to increase our average order value, we potentially can fix the problem. And we figured this all out in one meeting. And going off last year's numbers, by going in and negotiating a better deal, we're able to save a minimum of $10,000 for next year. What you can do with that $10,000, if you spend it on Facebook ads and you've got a ROAS of ×3, you can turn it into 30K. What you can do with that 30K is potentially hire someone part-time, or you can invest that into new stock. This is a box of stock. So that 10K can be invested into more product that you can sell online. Hopefully keep that money needle moving forward and keep growing. So lessons from today: 1, keep in contact with your suppliers. Make regular contacts. So that's probably been one of my biggest weaknesses as a business person. 2, understand economies of scale. If you are doing bigger numbers, you should get a cheaper price. 3, average order value. Increase it as much as you can through upselling. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more.
Yes, business.